talking about ancestral foods, and I found this picture of indigenous women, keepers of the Amazon rainforest. And if you see that person, what is that person carrying? Bananas. Where did these bananas come from? Are they supposed to be there? They're actually not a native plant at all. They're not native to the whole of the Americas, but as she argues, they've now become traditional, along with things like mangoes, which are definitely also not from the Americas. But basically, we now see that people are using bananas and mangoes on small scale farms for their livelihood. Now, you might get down on these things like using bananas and mangoes and selling things, because a lot of people would say that's not truly indigenous. Indigenous people aren't supposed to be selling things. They're not supposed to be planting bananas and mangoes and those kinds of things. But we need to watch out for romanticization. She tells us that we have to be careful not to just try and put people into these boxes, to assume they're all the same, or to assume that they're stuck in a time outside of time. People keep moving along. And so when I looked up what an indigenous market is like, they give me this picture of a place that I've been many times, Otavalo, Ecuador, where they sell all this stuff mainly to tourists. And you would say, well, that's not a very indigenous thing to be making like school backpacks and stuff, but people are weaving their designs into new ways to make a living and to participate in the modern economy. So it's important to realize that indigenous people are with us today, and they're going to be doing things like planting bananas and selling us good stuff when we go there touristing in a nice way. Several of you are interested in these passages about Central America during the Civil Wars as compared to our own society. As soon as I started to see those images, I was like, wait a second, that is exactly similar to the things that we used to think happened in other places that we called banana republics. And so we'd have these dictators in there and different strong men in positions of power. And one of the images that always comes to my mind is an image from Colombia when a guerrilla group took over the Palace of Justice, and they just blasted their way in with a tank. Some people wonder if this is the direction we're headed in, which is scary. It's worth comparing and thinking about these processes across the Americas and getting different perspectives on it. The problem of language loss is not just from the outside, it's from people when they're in a new place, they're not going to keep transmitting their language. A lot of these languages and traditions and cultures are rooted in an area. And so when that area, either people are displaced from that region or there's the effects of climate change, it's not just that you can take your language and simply transport it to another place without having it be tremendously altered. And I'm not trying to say that they are one with nature or one with that place, but it's very important the specifics of learning a language in a particular place. And so things have been jeopardized and fractured. However, she does have this. I'll just add, we do not need anyone to save us. So what she's saying is, yeah, obviously people need help and support, but not the savior complex that some people go in to another place. And even in places that get torn apart, there's a lot of resilience in those times. Yeah. All right. Well, we got that down. I looked it up. Yerbe El Agua. She talks about this place and other places that look really cool. Doesn't that look awesome? It does look awesome. However, if you go there, do you think it's going to look like that? No, it's going to look like this. It's going to be a bunch of people. You won't have somebody to take that picture from far away. It will be just look like this. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't go anywhere, but what's the problem? You got to watch out for this. a lot of these communities do get income from tourism, and I'm not saying that you should never go anywhere and eat tamales as long as you unwrap them first and buy things from other places, but you just have to be aware and be careful. Explore with respect. How about that? I'll try with that one. That's the subtitle, Healing Indigenous Landscapes Through Indigenous Science. I would concentrate on the journey part. It's a journey, not a destination. It's not a checklist. And you start the journey wherever you are. And where you're going to get to, you don't know where you're going to get to. You might not get all the way. In fact, it might be that you never see the end of this journey, but maybe it's a multi-generational thing. It's okay. In the last passage, he does talk about how when we heal ourselves, we heal landscapes. It's time we create space for Indigenous peoples to heal as we move forward in life. So that's a good thing. However, I'm not sure how many of us consider ourselves to be Indigenous. And so I want to talk about what some of the rest of us are here doing. And these invasive species, this is one of the worst. English ivy. Man, whenever I see English ivy, I just start pulling that stuff right out of the ground as fast as possible. I hate it. Trying to take over the stupid English. I don't think I have anything to do with the English, but it is true. Like a lot of the things that people are like, I'm going to rip that out of the ground. It's the stuff that people brought with them. That's part of their heritage too. And so she's not so much trying to make you feel guilty about that. Sometimes people get all, oh, they're hateful toward this, and maybe there's a place for that, but maybe you should think about your own ancestry and your own plants, relatives, and these kinds of things. And so she talks about even when she's doing the invasive plant removal, which is important, you got to get rid of this English ivy, man. It sucks. It's just not good here. It's important to do, but she says even in these invasive plant removal things, she actually asks permission to take away, yeah, being nice even to the invasive species. You have to be nice because the whole language of being invasive is actually weird too, right? So what I want to think about here, Indigenous peoples created these kinship relationships with introduced species like bananas or mangoes. And they don't consider them to be invasive or foreign anymore. And I think that those of us who might be descendants of settlers or new migrants displaced from other places, we can also create new kinship paths respectfully with the people we are with and around and the plants and animals here. And as she talks about these other plants and animals, she doesn't use these big words. She says that, yes, I would use words and phrases like friends. They do not like each other, or displaced relatives when I referred to the plants, the landscape we were restoring. Friends and displaced relatives. That's a possibility for us, to become friends and displaced relatives.